All right, hey, how's it going? Bracey here. So, our continued daily vlog, I believe this is daily vlog number 4. Today we're going to continue our talk, my talk about QPVR. So last I left, I kind of explained what the name means and generally what it is. And today I'm going to talk about why I decided to do this platform. So virtual reality, I should start with, is really the industry that I've been working in for the last 4 to 5 years, and I've been just so immersed in making virtual reality content, understanding what that means, really diving into what is it to interact in a virtual reality space. And one of the things that I came across really early on was that movement should be natural. Like whether the natural movement results in an unnatural phenomena that actually. But this is sounding really weird. Let's step it back. I'm not cutting right now. I figured like the editing stuff I'll start doing maybe in the next week, like after I get a few of these down where I'm used to talking fluidly, and then I can go in and chop this stuff up and make it a little bit more smooth. But right now you get to see all the flubs, and when I say you, I probably just mean me. QPVR. The heart of this is transitioning from content to content. Moving between locations is something that I became very interested in early on, or just movement in general in virtual reality, because when I first started, I really wanted to create a gallery that people could just walk in off the street. If they wanted to walk into an actual existing gallery in the middle of New York, and they walked over and they saw a virtual reality headset and they wanted to go through the archives of that gallery, I felt like, well, the solution for those people should be really easy. They should be able to put in that headset, and it didn't matter the age or the time of year. It should be an easy thing for them to attempt to do. And there was no solution for this, especially back in 2015 when I decided to dawn myself with that task. The long and short of it is I tried to create a hardware solution for that, and then that hardware solution got me interested into creating software for that hardware solution. And when it looked like that hardware solution wasn't viable, I just went completely into software and kind of stepped away from the movement side of things and just kind of went with what everybody else was doing at the time, which was just remote, like Xbox remote controls. Xbox video game controls. And from there, I was like, well, not everyone can do this. And then ultimately that led me to something that I call dreamscaping. I was developing a project with this really cool producer. Her name is Jackie Hurwitz. And we made a project together, or we were trying to come up with a project, and I had been playing around with this idea of what I liked to call at the time dreamscaping, or when you're in a movie, you have a character look one direction, and then they look another direction, and then all of a sudden they're in a whole other world, and they don't know how they got from one world to another world. I found that fascinating, and I was like, wait, we can do that now in virtual reality, because now the whole world is up to us to control, and we know where the user is looking. And so, yeah. I became fascinated with this idea of being able to change the world around a person without them necessarily knowing or realizing that they're the ones that were controlling that change. That I found out a very similar technique was being used in, I think, a piece called The Chair, or sidelining, something like that. After I'd started doing it, and people started seeing the demo online, I saw people saying, "Hey, this reminds me of this other piece that I saw." So somebody had a very similar train of thought, but from there, I stepped away, did other projects, but I always found that demo that I had made was like the number one thing that people reacted to with like a 90% excitement rate, whereas all the other stuff, like while it was well received, I never got the feedback, the instant like wow, just the wonder. That's the key. The wonder that experience triggered is something that I never saw in any other piece that either I made or anyone that I knew made. I saw people who really liked experiences, VR experiences, but not a lot of VR experiences that were more than just that novel or made them think like, oh, this could be this is what this medium can do. And that was something that always stuck with me, because that transition is literally something that you can only experience in virtual reality or your dream, meaning that it's native to the medium, and that made me very interested in exploring the medium for the medium. And what I mean by that is the things that you can only do in virtual reality, the same way that movies only really came into their own when they played with the editing and camera positioning and all the fixings that are unique to film, and separated itself from theater as opposed to just recreating theater on film. And the same thing with theater separating itself from books and those stories and plays. Like, each medium needs to be treated with its own respect, and when you do that, you discover amazingly beautiful and unique things about that medium. So, all that to say is that led me into the point where I realized most recently, after coming from a nice festival run with the most recent project I did, Harmonia, which premiered at Tribeca, and I was really happy about that, and they were nice enough to take us and showcase us over at the Cannes Film Festival. All this was awesome. We got into a bunch of other film festivals that we're really proud of the work we did. It may not mean much to everybody else, but it was a labor of love that I got to do with my family, and it took us like 2 months really to put the whole production together. We did a couple of months of pre-production before that, but really a whole 360 3D animated 8K VR musical, I guess. That's a heavy lift. That's a heavy lift for one person who's doing primarily like 80 to 90% of the work, and then having people help on the periphery. That's a lot of stuff to do in 2 months. But all that to say, even with all that work, and even as amazing as it was, I noticed very quickly that the response for it was nothing compared to the response that I was able to get and garner with the dreamscaping technique. So this got me thinking about agency, transitioning, how people access content, doing something like that together, sharing that sense of wonder, this ability to discover and continuously explore and discover and find new things and have these experiences grow with you, or help you grow with these experiences and actually have something to show for your growth. And that's kind of something that draws people to role-playing games, RPGs, is that their character grows and there's this sense of attachment through the story. So, all that to say, this is kind of what led me to where I'm at. I realized that I had a technique after developing my dreamscaping capabilities further, working on the transition technology, the transition software and techniques really behind dreamscaping, or what my friend John Klinkenbeard coined as fringe editing. I realized I had a way of transitioning you from one piece of content to the next without having too much time between. And I'm going to leave it there for now, because this video got way longer than I was expecting it to be. So we'll go into really why the platform is is something really kind of groundbreaking, or has the potential of being something groundbreaking. So yeah, if you actually watched this, thank you for watching, and I'll see you the next time. Huh? Cheers. I don't think I stopped it.